Hello, and welcome back to the set of V and the official ABC podcast. We're here outside of Stage 8, picking up right where we left off. Val is pregnant, Tyler's aboard the mothership, Chad apparently is going to suffer a brain aneurysm, and of course, there's an armada of V ships looming in space. Unfortunately, there's no warehouse here that houses these ships, but for the amount of planning and design that went into them, we could probably build one.
There was a tremendous amount of discussion as to what form the mothership would take, or what form the entire V fleet would take. And it was determined that since we already have the sense that the V are quasi-reptilian, aspects of that will be reflected in the ship. The most reptilian aspect of the ship would be its shape, and the shape is that of a cobra head. There are eyes and a mouth and sort of gills or gill-like structures, ears, to make it look a little dangerous, a little severe, and somewhat organic. And that's all intentional in a very subtle way to say these are reptiles. And this is reflected in the interior of the ship in that kind of roaming corridor that we have, where it looks like reptilian ribs that are curved and bent and sinuous as it weaves its way around. So it looks sort of like a cobra, but covered with a metal skin. In the first episode, when we first see Anna, the ship appears over New York, and we see the bottom of the ship start to move and generate its own pattern. And then you're wondering, oh my God, what's it doing? And what that is was a subtle homage to reptilian scales that turned, and you got a benign image of a beautiful woman addressing the public.
Don't be frightened. We mean no harm.
When we looked at the size of the ship over New York, we went to a map, calculated what streets were on either side that were visible, and then calculated the size of the ship from that. The mothership was 1.5 miles long and just over 1 mile wide. I think we figured that it was 300 yards thick. Sleekness and deadliness. And that's reflected in the overall design of the ship.
Of course, the mothership is just one of the places where we find drama on this show. There's plenty happening on Earth, too.
The last episode that everyone saw, which was the 4th episode, we left with a bunch of cliffhangers. Father Jack was stabbed by a V and left for dead in his church. Erica, Ryan, and Jack had infiltrated a warehouse that had flu vaccine.
They're experimenting on people.
The V's were putting this mysterious R6 into the flu vaccine. We didn't quite know what it was for, what their plan was, but it was clear that they were trying to sneak some sort of solution into the flu vaccines that human beings would then be taking. And at the end of it, they were able to actually blow up the warehouse. We left Val in a very delicious place.
I'm pregnant.
And the baby is Ryan and Val. Ryan is a V, and Val is a human.
The audience and everyone else except Val knows that the baby is half alien, half human. And so now it's basically setting the stage for when that will be revealed to her and when Ryan's background will actually also be revealed to her. But right now she's just a really excited, expectant mom.
Val's going to start seeing some shocking transformations in her body, with her belly, with her baby. There will be some rodent desire on her part as she needs to satisfy certain nutrients and certain requirements that this baby needs.
It just gets meatier.
Lisa and Tyler are getting a lot closer in more than one way, and I think Lisa's slowly feeling things she's never really felt before, but at the same time she's following Mother's orders, and Tyler's finally on the ship with her, and she's introducing him to her world.
The relationship between Lisa and Tyler gets very serious. It gets very adult. You know, they love each other, so it's gonna be, you know, for everybody.
We have more action, more romance. There's another pregnancy. There's explosions. Apparently, I've been told a character dies. So there's some big bombshells coming in, and hopefully not the one that dies, but I think the audience is going to want to stay tuned till the very end and hopefully till the next season.
It's time now for our fan question of the week. It comes from Kelly in Charleston, West Virginia, who asks Morena Baccarin, how many languages did you have to learn for your welcome scene in the first episode?
I had to learn 5 languages for V. One of them, luckily, I spoke Portuguese, but there's some Japanese, some Arabic, some French, some Spanish in there. And it was a little challenging, but with the help of some wonderful people here in Vancouver, I got to speak some different languages. Now when I go to these countries, I can say, I can offer you technological advances that you don't have here on Earth. Thanks for watching, V. Keep watching.
Thanks for your question, Kelly, and thanks to everyone who's submitted a question. We love hearing from you. Email your question to vfanquestions@abc.com, and we might answer it in an upcoming podcast. And you can see new episodes of V on Tuesday nights at 10, 9 Central, only on ABC. Thanks for joining us today, and thank you for watching V. I'm Scott Wolf. We'll see you next time.